Get on my camel and ride, please.
Hi. What's up? It's Sim 3 time, and I don't think my computer is going to explode this time because I am, in fact, running The Sims 3 in the background while also capturing all the audio coming out of Ableton Live and screwing with Paul Johnson track. Rest in peace. Um, Thinking so hard he got to mush his face around like silly putty. He is made of silly putty. I can't wait to make Tim Scooper. Yeah, the guy on the left is Tafter McChunkbust, and I still had that same picture of him after all these years. I'm thinking.
Hi, my sweet gay little nephew. I am kissing you in front of all of your friends. I'm gonna lurk
Aw.
hardcore so you get those sweet metrics more
Oh,
moi.
thank you.
Love.
Oh, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Every little bit helps. Hi, Uncle Ronder. Watching you make Tim is going to feel like running into an old friend at the grocery store. Hi, Poom Vader. Hi, Sam. Hi, Coast. Hi, Didgeridoo Player. So, I'm thinking we go with the classic Sunset Valley Much love. Hey, much love to you. I'm gonna close my window also. A lot of cars. A lot of vehicles tonight on the road. You know? And just in case I get the Tim Scooper shakes, I'm gonna go grab a sedative. I'll be right back. You know, slowly working through a pint of Ben and Jerry's isn't as bad as you think it is for you as a person. If you are in fact working and need something you can just chip away at, Sunset Valley, my beloved. Look, so I definitely actually purchased and gave EA all my money for all these different places, and I want to check them out. But I know you can move in between towns, right? I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me turn on the game realness or game music. One sec for the big nostalgia. So once our ultra productive man, dude, Windows, please show me my volume mixer. It's doing that thing where the icons are stuck again at the bottom. And it's like, come on, man. That's just annoying. Don't do that. There's a mod that lets you visit all the worlds as destinations. I mean, I'm trying to blow up and make some baller cash and have properties there, I think. Because keep in mind, we're making ultra efficient Sims. We're doing the ultra efficient strategy showcase. We're gonna make a reinforced concrete housing to efficiently fit the world's most productive man with galvanized steel bars. What's that fucking Instagram account? The stream is more or less started, but I really haven't cracked open this Ben and Jerry's. This is Ben and Jerry's Topped, by the way. You know, I have my green screen set back up, not all the way, but I could like pull that curtain. But like, just know it says Topped. Topped. Yes, you heard that right. Ben and Jerry's Topped. It's topped. Dirt cake. Dirt cake. Vanilla pudding ice cream with chocolate sandwich cookies and chocolate cookie swirls topped with milk chocolatey ganache and chocolate cookie crumble. Not sponsored. I love dirt cake. I'm glad that's not actually dirt. Because I saw this and I was expecting dirt. I gotta let it thaw before I try to pin it. It's like Arctic fishing right now, you know? I gotta let the sun warm it up before I can really crack in, start getting the salmon that is Oreo dirt cake. I was wondering what all these notifications were, other than my dad sending me YouTube shorts. Oh, that's porn. It's cute though. It's really cute. OMG. I'm keeping that notification up. Okay, now I'm just looking at my phone. Hi. Also, EA, if you're listening, give my fellow streamer. How do I word this? My fellow streamer and sister, E4 Estrogen, their entire EA account back, please. Phone away game now. So I'm hoping that once we make that galvanized steel house, Let's go ahead and load. Hopefully this won't crash my whole computer. I've really got my hopes up. But I did a fair amount of testing. I could have done more. You should be my stream coach. Coast. Like I have moderators. I have so many to the point where I no longer just decorate my friends as moderators like it's North Korea. I was trying to think of a better example than just defaulting to that. But I think at this point we can start specializing. Can I make these little icons go away, please? There we go. Find the planter pod end table by modern arcology. Is it this thing? Yeah, it's like an interactive... It's an interactive loading screen. Not to be confused with a loading screen with a minigame, which is copyrighted. And you will get in trouble for. That's not a minigame, that's an interactive... Ask you to find something, that's not a game. Oh, the stream has started. I guess I'll take that off now. Also, the game is very... I know it's typically very loud, but I need to actually turn it up, I think. Maybe? I'll turn it up a little bit. Sims is... weird. Actually, if the music is at this level, I know I set the Sims to be louder. I took a really good nap today. I was like, damn, I really need a nap. I slept like 3 hours. Couldn't go back to bed. Just thinking about stuff. Not like ruminating, wasn't anything bad. Yeah, phone now. Game now. I mean, phone away. Thoughts away. Put that at 60. Welcome to The Sims 3. Use the buttons below to get started. I'm gonna be a freak and instead of making a sim, I'm gonna start with the house. Did you know you can do that? Probably. Probably everyone knows you can do that. I'm gonna do crazy things. The only thoughts you should be having are of playing The Sims 3. I like how no comment was made on the coaching thing. You've just assumed the role. Thank you. I need this. The brains to my streamer brawn. I feel like streamer brawn is a... Damn, I'm really ADHD right now. What the hell? I can say that, by the way. I am more or less diagnosed. So close to formally. Is that the tiniest lot on here?
Back in my day, if all your neighbors weren't gravestones in your backyard, and your roots weren't overflowing with your own cum, you weren't playing The Sims correctly.
True. Once I like that voice. I didn't know we had a grandpa voice. Ooh, I just clicked. Once I played a ghost catcher who would end up getting impregnated by ghosts and tried collecting all the types of ghosts as children. Oh my god. That's newty. I used to remember the smallest lot on here. Okay, we have the 20 by 30. 30 by 40. 20 by 30. And 5 by 30. Can't see game? What? Black screen? Excuse me? It's coming through on OBS. black screen. You're playing a prank on me right now. Is it really just a black screen? Oh, I see black. What? This is the first time I've had something, That's strange. Yeah, and I guess I assumed that the game was visible because, I'm seeing it in OBS as what is being broadcast out. That's so strange. Are you opening the setting? Windows 7 capture mode? Great idea. I forgot about that. So I'm doing game capture. I'm gonna try an exciting and new OBS bug. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, now I'm going to intentionally put black on the screen as I delete the game capture. Thank you for letting me know. We heart troubleshooting. Yeah, I kind of want to have like a laptop that's always set to just my stream. Not for a narcissism reason, but for, you know, this. Bit capture method. Bit. Thank you so much, Dr. Butt Doctor. But to continue what I was saying earlier, the only reason I'm not modding people at this point that I like and trust is because we have enough moderators generally, and also at this point I don't want to thrust that responsibility onto people.
Show us the walls. We must see the walls. We thirst for the walls.
We thirst for the walls. Game visible? Okay. Cool. I want no responsibility, I just want to yell. Fair. I'm getting that game audio just right so I can hear that that TTS. Because I like hearing the TTS when it comes through. I did legitimately think it's funny. And also, you know, I want to know what it's saying. 30 by 20. So you can see the game now. Okay. I could make the UI a little larger later on down the line if we want to do that as well. I'm not going to mess with it right now, but 20 by 30, 20 by 30. I swear there was a 20 by 20 that wasn't a residential or a commercial. No responsibility, I just want to yell. This is why you are a furry. Alright, let's just quit dicking around and we pick one, yeah? This is like, I don't know, it's bothering me. But also I'm working on my diagnosis and I don't need to obsess. And I can stop anytime I want. Okay, I'm good. I gotta stop. Gotta stop. This one. Okay. 18 Maywood Lane. Right here. But traditionally, I put him here, right? Because we've made Tim Scooper before. He's an ongoing... I don't want to call him an inside joke because he's more like an inside inspiration, you know? But also he needs to be around people, you know? He needs to socialize. So let's go here. I need to get diagnosed as autism, however, so I'm not just a dirty claimer. Oh, like claiming that you have it. Yeah. Without getting too personal about it. It's more of like a thing I've had brought up to me more times by mental health professionals rather than me asking about it or going there for that or having to go there for that. Not that I've ever had to. Anyways. I don't know if I can do it without him here. We gotta make Tim. I'm sorry, it doesn't feel right. Go back to edit town. Create a household. Well, if it's like, hey, we detected your install from 8 years ago, reinstalling huge furry cock mod. Installing milkable fupa mod. Alright, so we're gonna make a supernatural type called human. That's just a natural type, really. We're gonna make... I'm gonna show you how to do a neat percent plus world record... a neat plus percent speed run of ultra efficient... gonna show you some ultra efficient sim strategy showcase. Go live notification. Learn more. Sorry, they put it in front of me. I'm gonna read it. So Tim Scooper, ultra efficient man, very pale. As pale as we can get him, really. That's like too pale. That's like he's sick. I don't know, this one looks oxygen deprived. I kind of like that. Hold on, I need to get under some influence, theoretically. Can't just have him gray, though. He was still human colored. And also, we have a reference. Like, hold on. Reference. Secretary. Take out. Take him off the screen now! Timmy time, people, please. Working on it. It's Timmy time.
Check out my couch. It's navy blue. Like my soul and my cigarettes. I smoke denim jeans.
My cigarettes. Oh shit, Ushanka. Wait, why do they make you pay money for the Ushanka? When it in fact has a Soviet seal on it. Why they make you pay for it? I can't spill. Video programmer Ushanka show. So tradition, I'm not always one for tradition. When it comes to Tim Scooper, you gotta make sure you do it right because he's actually the most efficient build. He's the meta in this game. So to begin, we need to find a helmet. Because he's gonna be like passing out a lot. He's gonna be passing out a lot. And we're going to need to watch out for various types of head trauma. You'll see why. Meta Man. Safety first. Yeah, it's the this is the Homo Semioticus. All right, the ultra new I'm gonna show you how to achieve ultimate productivity. Productive means happy.
Again, Choke. Lebaron is here raiding with the Discord homies. More.
Why did SpongeBob make the TTS clip? Anyways, hi. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ultimate UFO porno. Thank you. Thank you. So, hello Discord homies. I'm looking for aha. Here we go.
And now I wear a helmet.
Oh yeah, here's the TTS info if you want to see how to do all that. It's viewer
Timmy
reward.
time.
Timmy time.
It's time for Tim Scooper. Tim Scooper, spelled as Tim Scooper. So yeah, he likes flame patterns. He's into that. Did he have eyebrows? Hold on. Hold on, I gotta take off that fucking rotation filter. Quit it. I have more pictures of him, like screenshots. Looking on in horror. His eyebrows look like they're black. I feel like he should not have eyebrows anymore, though. He didn't have any facial hair. Smooth. I'm smooth. They make you pay for the Ushanka with the Soviet seal on it, by the way. Hold on. Let me move Tim. Look at that. Fricked up. Alright, so we already have the hat. Body hair.
We know.
Smooth boy? That's literally illegal. By which I mean I will do something illegal.
I shave
Hey.
my head so Herr Dantian get caught in my helmet.
I thought that was fucking Ben Shapiro. Should Tim be like alopecia? Or should he have crazy shag rug for no reason down there? I think that's good. I think that's good. I don't think it should match. Crazy? Maybe. I don't know. He is like the ultra efficient man, so I think maybe we don't. I think he's got to be smooth because he's got to be more aerodynamic. Oh yeah, I guess I can't. Wait, so there's the... Why'd the music stop?
I shoot my balls so White don't get caught in my helmet.
Is it just over? Is the music over? It got really quiet. It's like Minecraft in this one? Oh, you're familiar with this. Okay. Thank you. That's creepy. It just gets quiet sometimes? I wasn't prepared for that. Oh man. I really got a yap. Alright, let's see. Oh, hey. Okay, smooth plus helmet, yes? By the way, if you have photosensitivity issues, I'm going to be scrolling really fast. So watch out, all right? Because I'm wicked fast with the mouse, all right? Dan Henschel. More like don't watch out. Damn. You're legally mandated to view this broadcast by the state on Channel 1.
Kukapa.
Kukapa. You made that more confrontational than I meant. Oh, yeah, I have a personality disorder. Much like Tim. Photosensitive friends don't have to vacate. I thought you were saying more like, don't watch, I'm out. And I was like, damn, sick burn. Okay, smooth, smoosh the head gently, like squeezing between thighs like thigh master. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Don't let your kids watch it. No, your kids can watch Tim. Tim's good for the children. I think, yeah, most of most of the tradition came from just lowering every slider. I think it's coming to me now. Like, I didn't even come up with this character.
Regretfully, I dropped this child at birth. Thankfully, I convinced the mother that if their son wears a helmet and is always shaved, they'll be fine.
Yeah. You're not going to believe the brain on this man, all right? I guarantee you. All right, you're going to be blown away by the sheer brainfulness. All right? It's alien years. Ooh. Minimum on every slider. Well, apostrophe there. Every possible texture is flames. So I'm missing some on the helmet. Let me go back. Let's do it right. You know, we got to do it right the first time. Good to see no nudie mods happen. Hold on. How can I like timscooperbathtime.jpg? That's my yeah. It's like if you try to actually put everything to minimum, a flaming Hawaiian shirt would be very fetching. That actually gives me an idea. Well, I'll act on that later. What's that? Themed or something? Yeah, themed. Oops. It's even the strap. Yeah, even wait, I can eyedropper it somehow, right? Or I could just drag and drop. Sweet. Wait, that hold on. Oh, that looks like shit. Hold on. Oh. Wait, this one. Yeah, this one. Oh. It's the Canadian tuxedo of helmets. Is Canadian tuxedo just like denim? You can't really see it on the strap, but it's there if you look really carefully. Yeah? Alright, I'm glad I remembered that correctly. Now, the thing is, he needs to look... people need to take him seriously. And primarily, the most efficient man in today's society is an author. Especially with the rise of, keyboards, technology. Keyboard stocks are going up. You know, everybody's typing these days. So, in order to be taken seriously as an author, you got to look to great authors like Dostoyevsky and all those people who wrote the Bible, right? And John Green. What all three of those people or all those people? It'd be three groups or two people and the Bible guys. What all those have in common? All of them aren't happy. And that's what makes them such good authors. So, we are... hopefully going to be able to shape the eyes here. Small. That looks pretentious when this.
I wrote in an influential letter. It was the letter J.
Yeah, that's a thorn, right? J. That's not J. Oh, he looks so cute. How do I make him sad? I think it's the eyebrows, right? Graphic design is my passion. It's hard to make him look. There we go. They look so cute. I make them sad. Me when I see Chew. I love it when you torment me. Dude, those jawbones are freaking me out. They gotta go. Twitch ad just told me that my aura is limitless. Yeah? You stink. That's your aura. You're stinky. I think we bring up his cheeks a little bit. I remember him looking specifically more hollow. Oh yeah. Yeah. Now it's looking like Tim Scoop. Alright. This is Tim. The helmet will help you be efficient and go fast. That's why he has it.
My daddy was a sectoid, and my mommy was really into sectoids.
See what I mean? You bump this one up all the way and it gets welcome back. You bump this one up all the way and it actually goes in closer to his face. Right? They made me watch a TurboTax ad. Wow. Yeah, like I said with the keyboards, you know, a lot of people are using those for different, they're finding new applications for them all the time. And people are saying it's a big bubble, but I don't believe it. Perfectly slotting my nose into the pussy. Using TurboTax is a wonderful new tool to dox my enemies. How would you do that? Maybe I shouldn't ask that question. It's really the side profile I'm concerned about too, you know. It's got like a fucking... I could probably figure something out. Okay. Yo, my chat crazy. Go for it. Crazy's good these days. Go for it. Why not? Is there like are these like distinctly different types of noses, or are these different settings for the same nose? Because I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, that's so good though from the side. Yeah, this guy is the worst sleep apnea. I don't even know if it's sleep apnea. I think it's just like apnea. This guy falls asleep with his mouth closed and dies. I don't care who the IRS sends. I'm not paying my taxes. Oh boy. No comment, chat. No comment. When I get Henri, my nostrils they crinkle up. Clicked off the thing. I don't want to go back. Too much effort. Actually, no, it's not. Hold on. Was it nostril rotate? Me when I get Henri. He sleeps with his helmet in his mouth. A little bit. How do I... There we go. Okay. I was wondering why I couldn't... It's that thing. How far is... Ooh. Ooh, them lips. When they say, would you like a straw with your drink at the Starbucks, he says, no thanks. Nah, I already have one. It's them lips. So babies can only breathe through their nose unless they're crying. That's this guy. No wonder they die all the time for no reason. Skill issue, dude. No, too happy. Get better babies. That's this guy. Yeah. I forgot how much lips make you look unhappy if they're pointed downward. There might be something wrong with my brain. Looks like a fucking King of the Hill character. This is Bobby after he grows up and becomes a BMX guy, loses a bunch of weight, cuts off all of his shaves off all of his hair, I guess, to become more aerodynamic. And then he has a horrible accident where he just eats shit and he flattens his face. He's so aerodynamic. I feel like his face is almost as aerodynamic as his stomach. He's like, kill me. Nah. Angry. These brows are so thick. Dude, eyebrow ridges are so thick. Alien. Oh. He would go flying on a slip inside. Oh. It like just gives him an eye infection. Uncaring scooper. Okay. I feel like he still needs eyebrows, dude. I mean, like, it's funny, but it's funny not having any eyebrows to speak of, but there's the expressive power is What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Eyebrows or maybe like skin colored eyebrows? Super thin eyebrows. Yeah, that's like as thin as they get, I think. He trims his eyelashes. That's innovation. Yeah.
So.
He's the most efficient man. That's why he shaves his eyelashes. I went from just removing them. He shaves them. All right, so his everyday outfit is a classic. Let me just nearly crash my computer by scrolling. So here's what you do. You get yourself a tuxedo. Right? And you go to themed and you find the flame patterns and you give him that on every part of the suit so he can go faster. That's so he can go fast every day. Sleepwear. Oh, that's cute. It's cute. So for sleepwear, you want to go to outfits. Oh my god. Dude, we could put him in the sexy lingerie. That's not tradition, though. We're going with traditional scooper. All right, we can have a scooper, too, if we want. Wait, does it, like, lock me to sleep outfits? I guess it kind of does, huh? Filter content. Everything. I'm sure there's a way I could get around that. But I'm going to pretend that I can't fix that right now. And go with the sexo lingerie. What are we thinking? Or we could do a flame robe. Oh, wait, hold on. I have an idea. I have an idea. Miscellaneous fabrics. Is that denim? What's it called? Denim underwear? Denim everything? He could sleep in denim. But that's still not as astounding. Bro, what's this? I'm kind of afraid to... What are these? What is this? I don't know what that is. That scares me. Bro, I didn't add any mods, I'm gonna be real with y'all. So, I don't know what that is. I was concerned about my my game crashing. I do want to add weedy mods. Hi, what's up? We're making Tim Scooper. Oh my god, the long johns, like the union suit. What's up? Hey, what's good? I'm trying to figure out what the world's most efficient man needs to wear to bed. I mean, dude, the music really completely stopped. Heard of Mr. Right? Yeah, this is Mr. Right. Is it Mr. Wrong? Tim Scooper? Mr. Wrong. It's Tim Scooper. Music is inefficient. Yeah, that's why it's gone, I guess. I'm trying out some new things. Hold on. Dude, this is like official Sim shit? That's funny. Either Flames or Denim. He's a huge fan of Guy Fieri. Or sorry, Guy Fieri. Okay. Sure. He goes to sleep in this? It's going to be very efficient. I thought I told y'all he's fucking bald. Well, you can put on like night vision goggles to fucking go to bed? What is this, like Dwemer brain shit? What is that? Huh? Excuse me? Bro, what the fuck is this? I don't know if I'm gonna let him wear that to bed. This is high fashion. Yeah, Rick Owens. He's the fucking psychic from Fallout 1. Yeah. This one's a lot more pathetic. Hold on.
My name's Sam Fisher. Make do fifth friend home.
I didn't understand a single word of that. My name's Sam Fisher. Me do Fifth Freedom. Yes. I have for sure considered and probably I think already have on a list somewhere. That I want to play Splinter Cell on stream. I want to play through those games. I played them a lot when I was younger. All right, so this is as athletic wear. I think I remember trying to... I guess these didn't load correctly. God, what if... Just like the most... Just something you really wouldn't want to like work out in. Or maybe something really skimpy. Oh, look, Nyan Cat. Oh, look, they have memes. You should play them just for the music. Yeah, dude, Amon Tobin. I been new. I don't know why I said that so weird, but like, yeah, I love that. And also the other composers who worked on the game. These Power Rangers. Oh my god, he gets in like a superhero costume. Oh my god. Dude. I'm super scooper. No, wait. And we could... No. No, it doesn't even look like a superhero suit anymore. It's gotta have some variation. Cowboys is on fire. Super Scooper. Yeah, it's the third one. Jesper Kid did 1 or 2. Yes, I believe so. I wasn't super sure about 1 and 2, but I know Amon Tobin did the soundtrack for the third one, which is what introduced me to Amon Tobin. I was younger. Dude, what the fuck is this? He's gonna be working out in this? Oh god. Oh god. Oh, camo and flame print? Oh, that might be it. That might be the ticket right there. Oh, yeah. Oh, that looks like hot garbage. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, like autumn. Oh. Oh.
I made a mess.
When you poo and pee and bleed your costume. He has to work out in this. Wait, did we make him like work out in a hot dog costume? Hold on. Wait. Where'd the hot dog costume at? Maybe that was like some mod. Dude, it's so eerie without the music, dude. Come back. Come back, music. Okay, that brought it back. Oh no, Tim. Why? What? Is that like fucking dirt on your neck?
My fellow Sims, Super Scooper is on the way.
He would. What's the stuff that didn't load? Is it like the hot dog costume? He should go barefoot. Oh, I guess they're like still loading in or something. Yeah. Denim. My famous denim boots of blinding denim.
I fell, and now my nose is flat, and now I wear a mask.
Yeah, it's to protect his flat face from getting even flatter. Create a Sim's doing its best. Okay. Maybe we should just wait for a second. Maybe load a hot dog suit. I don't know. I think I just had like a mod that let me see more outfits in the outfit screen, whatever you call it. I don't know. I'm happy with this though. Swimwear.
We know.
Dude, I didn't install any mods, but every time I see something that's not loaded in properly, I keep being like, oh, there's gonna be a cock. Swim in a pirate suit. Wait, he like puts on a scuba tank to go in a pool? He would. He would. He would. Oh, that's adorable. It's not adorable enough, though. Because he needs to set the water on fire. Holy shit, that worked. Okay, just one of them, I guess. Good enough. Sleeves. Okay, that actually is fine, so we're not going to use that. Oh god, this one's like baby fur. He's like a baby fur. Baby DL Scooper. He should have like a tiny pool he can get in. He's not gonna drown or anything. He'll wish. No, just a hint of his favorite. Hold on. Wait. Oh, that's just adorable. Shit, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. I'm kind of surprised that the back button works for some reason. Just thought that it wouldn't. He doesn't look like he wants to go to the pool today, but we're making him. Oh wait, we can still customize the tank on the back.
I might drown in my sleep. Yay!
grass grass themed oxygen tank. Dude, a wicker basket? Oh, that looks so fucking weird. Yeah. He wove his oxygen tank. He wove it. It's woven. Don't worry. He did it real tight. All right. Don't gotta worry about it. He's got oxygen. Full of air. Yeah, exactly. It's got air in it. I think that's great. Yeah, we're going with that. I saw that and I was like, that's really special. That's good. Okay, outerwear. This is for when it's the weather season. Every test they do says it's just as good as a regular tank. Yeah. No, they were testing it above ground. Or it always had oxygen in it, alright? Baby, it's cold outside, so we're gonna dress in the NASCAR suit. Chat, my balls are sweating. Give me a second. Taking off the pants. We're ready. Trying to avoid putting a fan on me. This looks too reasonable. Dude, what are these? Oh my god, wait. Hold on. Baby fur. Not wood. Hold on. Fucking... Aw, it's got little kitty cats on it. Looking good, Timmy. Yeah, like blocks. No notes. I actually do have a note. Hold on. This somehow got changed back to that. Other than that. Yeah, I think the little aquatic theme. Hold on, can we just give them some... Yes, big dumb rain boots. Yeah, they don't even... Oh, all of these are great. Thank you. These like... What are those? They have like tile on them. Weird. Those Uggs. You don't get to wear Uggs with those, Tim. You can wear those though. Big stupid rain boots. Oh yeah, accessories. You can accessorize with accessories. You know, subtlety is the way of man with the plant. Real subtle. But why is it like woven? fabric. Here we go. He's proud about something he is. Let him like what he likes, okay? Let him make fun of him. I'll beat your ass. What is this? Is that a tattoo? No. No tats. I don't know what that is. Alright. I think we're kind of wrapped up with him in the appearance area. Hold on. Wow, buddy. You're looking good. Can we put a helmet on him with this one? Oh, wait. Yeah, the actual tank. Oh, that looks dumb. Yeah. This was me in the late 80s if I had access to dungarees. Well, you know, you gotta look some way, you know? You have to look somehow. You somehow continue to be the most mysterious and interesting chatter. I appreciate your being here. This looks like shit. Oh wait, this has like a cat running around it. That's actually really cute. That turned out really well. I feel like wearing this, like, other than it pressing against... You say this like I wasn't a fashion icon. I mean, obviously. Only fashionistas make it in this stream. Every outfit of his has a little touch of the flame decal. Seems like the helmet got a little messed up on some of these. Hold on. The wicker air tank. Yeah. It's just a wicker basket. That doesn't work, man. You're gonna drown. You're gonna drown, homeboy. Dude, what if he wears glasses to bed? Only to bed. All this in, like, Argyle socks. Yep. Dirty. Stinky. It's something that's kind of like, oh.
Goblin, the glasses help me see Jesus in my sleep.
You're gonna be wanting to go meet Jesus after his socks enter the room. I'm trying to make him look like nasty. I'm trying to make him look like patchy. His feet are going to be so sweaty. Fetish. Fetish content. Oh, the shit sucks. Oh god. He just doesn't look right anymore. This look bad. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. Oh god. Oh god, no, that's doing some really weird shit. Okay. Those look gross. I can see Jesus in my sleep with these glasses. Sexo. My sleep goggles. Let's check his helmet on the formal wear. I gotta put this ice cream back up.
Holy God.
2020 dreaming. Suspenders were intentional. The mini cape just came with a costume. Yeah, yeah. Wait, what? Did I not do formal wear? I guess I went straight to sleepwear? Weird. I usually have him at his most informal for the formal wear. Because people need to know that he comes first. And they come second. And he comes first. And they come second. Got the ripped up werewolf shirt. Where's just like a ratty t-shirt? Yeah. Oh, those are like cute though. Where's that nasty shit? All those invisible shirts. I don't know what's up with that still. I'll have to look into it later. I think I remember him like wearing this thing with the weird collar. I say it's weird, but I'm fucking like into pet play, so just talking. He just randomly puts this on to go to a banquet. Yeah, hold on, I'll be right back. Cat on his back. Every Harvard Illuminati. Cat on the back. Wait, there was a cat on the back of one of those? I gotta put this ice cream up before it melts. Like, completely. One moment. I must put it away before it becomes goop and it just starts spreading liquid condensate all over my desk. Just short-circuiting everything I own. Killing me instantly. Slowly. Back in my day, we had to walk up 50 sets of dicks. 2 costumes back, the white top had a cat on the back. Can I even remember?
Huh?
Not that one. I didn't mean to click that.
I have a
Ignore
band
that.
and a sex cult.
You're fucking cool. I mean that. I can't find the thing again. 2 costumes back. Outfits? No, it wasn't this. Whatever. Oh. Well, we found it, I think. Actually, I think we found it. Regardless. Nice. He looks like he's in pain. Did they take the hot dog out of, like, the hot dog costume out of The Sims 3 because of woke? Okay.
That's hot.
I know, right? Isn't he a hottie? Okay. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, yum, yum. So, Ultra Efficiency Showcase. We're 1 hour in. Wow. Sam was right. Sim streams are a lot longer than you think they're gonna be. Oh, I get it. That's hot. Like he's on fire. I have to smoke weed now. Well, that describes me really well, actually. Getting better about that, though. A lot better. Brooding. You don't want to do a character creation wrong. Yeah. Oh, I'm not worried about taking too long. Let's see. It's been a while. It's been a while. Okay, yeah. So you're gonna want, I think, to hate the outdoors. Yeah, if I do this wrong, he won't be the ultra efficient guy. You're gonna want to be a loner.
What? I hate the outdoors so much. I hate the indoors.
Yeah, it's just an illusion that it's not outdoors. Neurotic.
Oh, the Ogle-san. Oh.
I'm like trying to remember all these, okay? Like seriously. You're gonna want to be a workaholic.
Oh, that's not.
And I've never ever seen the unstable trait before, and I kind of want to try it. I mean, it's the most efficient thing, yeah, and you have to. Right? Sorry if it sounds like I'm ripping a fat ass right now. Singular. That is a combustion engine. Its exhaust rattles. Oh, bookworm. Wait, hold on. So we're not gonna give a fuck about the outdoors. Bookworm. And unstable. All right, this is how we become efficient. All right. Illustrious author. You want to express the ultra efficient way is to write blog posts with ultimate SEO engagement, 24/7 grind set. Okay. Sorry, there's a bunch of people farting outside. It's crazy. Your voice, your favorite food needs to be for ultimate efficient world record speedrun sim to beat the game as fast as possible. What was his favorite food? Grilled cheese. Your favorite music is as always, you know, custom. Your favorite color is brown.
Miyapso Simchiwani do. Zondal Matzo Chabo.
Miyapso
Chabo. Oh.
Pablo Herbie.
Tefaglow. Pablo Herbie.
And your voice sounds like that. And your astrological sign is a Cancer, I guess, because I'm also a Cancer, and every time I've ever gonna head to bed, Coast. All right, hey, I hope you sleep so well. And yeah, I'll catch you later.
Donald Matzo, Chabo.
The VOD will be up on the VOD channel if you want to see the rest, if you're interested, but no pressure. All right, sleep well. Much love to you, buddy. Anytime I've read my own horoscope, it's like, hey, you're pathetic and really sensitive. So I'm like, okay.
OH my god, is that Tim Scooper?
So I'm gonna
Super Scooper to you.
like it's true, but like don't rub it in, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna pick that for him. And that's it. That's the scoop. That's the scoop. Choose a place to live. Now choose a lot in the town where you like to move in this household. He is a loner. Pinochle Point. This one's cheaper. This one's like really cheap. Okay, this is like the cheapest one. 18 Maywood Lane. What's buy? Why would the horoscope call you out, then double down? What? I tried to understand that. Okay, pause the game. A supernatural wind blows through Sunset Valley, creating a mystical weather stone. Gather supernaturals to appeal to the great weather gnome for special weather effects. The dawn of a new day. Let's save. Sunset Valley, Tim Scoop. Takes a minute to save, huh? Didn't expect it to take this long. Saving all the little flame decals and all the little duckies. And all the little grilled cheeses he's gonna eat later. And
Tweedle Park, Donaburo, I could live in this bin.
he could be homeless for a living, but we're not gonna make him do that. It's 8 a.m. It's Sunday. What better time than ever to build an entire house, right? So let me show you how it's done. First things first, any good house has its foundation. All right, so a lot of people forget this one. It doesn't need to be real big. You don't have to go crazy with it, freak. Calm down. Is there flaming wallpaper? I think so, yeah. Basement house? Great idea. I think there is a flaming wallpaper. Sorry, I'm just kind of... What if the foundation was downstairs? I think it legit will not let you do that. Sorry, I'm kind of keeping up with the Joneses over here in a I didn't go to architecture school kind of way. Keeping up with the architecture. Sorry if the game like flashes black, I guess. He doesn't really need that much room. The smaller I make his house, the less the ringing in my ears, or the more it stops. So, yeah, that's cool. We can expand it later if need be. Now, what would a foundation be without stairs? Dear God, they're all in the front yard. That's fucking weird. Can y'all go back in? Cult moved in next to a cult. Rapture practice with the kids. Oh man. Just stand still. Oh no, they're doing it over there too. Oh, that's weird. Oh God, they're all doing it. Oh, that's weird. Don't think about it. That's fucking weird, man. Wait. Excuse me? Okay. Rapture practice with the kids. Yeah, he should have a basement house, I think. Wait, so if he has a basement house... It's music. Okay, so to go down. Okay. So. Dude, just a ladder? Let's talk efficiency for a minute? Yeah. Yeah, I agree, game. Let's talk efficiency. Why can't I go? Hold on. I've forgotten how to make a basement. Oh, basements. Something like that, maybe, huh? But, huh? Uh-huh. Basement. Cool. This is shaping up to be a nice, good home. The speedy pole. You can't go back up if you have this. So a speedy pole and a ladder? I'm confused. Wait, do you have to like have a double basement or something? What is this? Ladder. What? Huh? Don't tell me you have to use stairs. That's boring. No way, come on. Is it just not big enough? Can't get through the foundation. Okay. Let's try this. It's all coming back to me. Hey, you're right. Speedy pole is still a bit of a mystery. Oh, on a floor. It needs to be on a floor. It's not technical on a floor yet. Right? No. Must place the entire object in one of these places on floor. What? What do you mean? Okay, well, we figured out the ladder thing. I'm not gonna get too hung up on that. Oh, there's also elevators. How long is this? 20. Good enough. I don't want it too big. We can't spoil him. Alright, he'll be like Dennis. I think we can get by with a 7x7. My home. What if it rains? Who cares? Right? You do like custom. Is there a way to say no? I want the. I think there is. Blueprints. Create a style. Aha. There we go. This is a cool wallpaper. This is a cool wallpaper that makes it look like your house is on fire. Wait, is there one that's like smoke? Alright, can we like... Hold on. It's like his house is on fire. Good enough. It's dreadful. He's in hell. Oh, there's street racing outside. I was wondering what that sound was. I should go stream with those guys. Be like, hey guys. Hey guys. You see this? This is why the Sims franchise peaked at 3. What I'm doing right now? You can't do this in Sims 4. Wait, exposed brick is good, right? We people like that. So we'll have some of that. Custom textures and patterns, my beloved. Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, oh yeah, they understand what I want to do. Okay, cool. Yeah. Good. And then I do it, and I'm happy. It's too bad you can't get this game legally anymore. If you're cool, I mean. Anyways, that looks cool. I mean, is what I meant to say. That looks cool. Sorry, misspoke. Ooh, polka dots. Oh, that looks horrible. What the fuck? Oh, man. Tim. He's gonna go bankrupt on unique wallpapers. They inspire him, and that's priceless. Alright. This wallpaper moves. Yeah, good enough. Cowboys on Fire. I call this one Cowboys on Fire. Cowboys. What did I say? Oh, where'd the Cowboys go? Oh, sports. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Can we have one that looks like it's like outside? Like a fake window? No, let's not even give them that. I'm gonna save again. No, I can't. Live mode. I've played a lot of Sims. I'm gonna be saving a lot. I know it takes some time. I apologize in advance. But it'll be worth it. Oh, it didn't take that long that time. See? Alright. Ultimate efficiency dictates that we have to have at least one lamp in here. I think that works. Or, no, that's too expensive. We'll have to get the warning sign later. I know there's got to be like a burning torch or something, right? A light rectangle. These icons are tiny. I gotta mess with the GUI size. Knotted torch. Oh, that is a torch. I saw knotted and I was like, "Hey, Lamau," and I clicked on it. It is a torch. That's good. Does he deserve floor yet? What about single light bulb hanging from ceiling? You're right. What about that? Yeah, we need that. That was an essential. That was an essential feature. You're right. Where's like the most basic? I need to be sorting by function, and then just give me Sims 3. Was it these? Simple porch light. Oh god, that looks so bad. Oh yeah, it's like rusty. Oh man, that's like surgery light too. That's good. Yeah, that's honestly, yeah. It's cheaper too. We do need floor. I'm tempted to have this, so I think I will. Hold on. No way. I can have just one of these of flame. Just one? I can? Oh, that looks really bad. Oh, that looks bad. Every carpet square, a different theme. Not square, every... Yeah, fighter pilots. In a dark brown, in a auburn sky. No. It's got little faces on it. Oh, that's good. That's good floor. That's a good floor. I like that. Got a little alien bug with one eye. That's dope. Sick as hell. That fucking rocks. Look at that guy. We got furries on the floor. We can make it even worse, so that's cool. We're gonna do that. Every color. Slightly different. Just slightly different in a couple of them. I changed all of them. Just to annoy somebody, I'll have that there. Can I buy him like a tiny, like, Zen garden fountain? I don't know why I want him to have that. I usually want him to, you know, if you're doing the ultimate efficiency run like I am, and getting the world record, which I will, for ultimately efficiently. That's how you do it. What's the name of that? God, this UI is too tiny. Sorry, chat. Fun with phrenology. I don't think that's very fun at all. Sims. It's an interesting name. I just want like a little fountain. I can't tell what these are. Can I search? I was like, oh, increase size, yeah. Not the way I wanted. Well, this is what the toilet paper will be, certainly. So that's sorted. Yeah, I have the TP somewhere. It's hard to build a house, you know? Plumbing. Toilets are good. We'll get them a chamber pot. We'll get them a fucking chamber pot. Then he'll have to bring up the ladder. Let's have it right here. Your toilet paper's right behind you. It's just a pot, dude. No, I'm not gonna add flame decals to it yet. No. Sleeping bag. Oh, he's gonna hate life. I give you complete permission to put me in the game, make me go swimming, and take the ladder. I don't want to do that, though. I don't want to drown you. Don't play EA, but if you're anything like me, don't buy EA. But I totally bought everything here. Like I said. You're also just welcome to make me and micromanage me. Word. I might do that at some point. Wait a second. That's your fetish. That's fetish content. You caught me. Yeah, I explained at the beginning of the stream, I explained why. I was like, yeah, they jacked your shit, and it was BS. Give it back. Reappropriate it from the bourgeoisie at EA to E4 Estrogen on Twitch. You caught me. Yeah. I was like, wait a second, why are you so enthusiastic about this? So that's a sleeping bag. That's his chamber pot and his toilet paper. We got that handled. Yeah, maybe we'll make you Tim. Thanks, sis. Oh, you're so welcome, sis. Maybe we'll make you and make you Tim Scooper's neighbor. You can come meet Tim Scooper. All right, he needs that cool ass gamer desk. All right, second thing second. He's got a place to shit, now he needs a place to game. Oh man, these are really cheap. Oh wow. Oh, that's not even an actual desk. It's just wood. I like that. It's really, you gotta keep it really far away from stuff, though. Come on. Why can't you put these up against the wall? Can't intersect other objects. What did I put there? Oh, it's intersecting the bedroll. I see. No, this will be his inspiration corner. So he can feel like he's drowning. So he can feel like he's drowning. The Oculo Holo... we can't afford whatever that cool shit is. Don't even look at it, kids. He's gonna be in so much pain. Should he have a home phone for no discernible reason? Water torture, but make it aesthetic. Yeah. University welcome kit. I've got to make this GUI larger, dude. Tell you what, after we get done with the house, I'll try to do that. But then we're not gonna need to see the little stuff, probably. I don't know. It's still kind of hard to see even for me. And I'm not even the on the Twitch with all the being the viewer and all that. So he's got the desk chair. He's got shelf. No shelf, not yet. Where's the worst shelf? I wish there was one that was just a pile of fucking books on the floor. That's like realistic, you know what I mean? Why is the cheapest one so big? The spooky bookshelf. Oh, that's cute. Perfect. Actually, no pleasure. No, wait, he has to learn somehow. What the fuck? Tower of Biblio triple bookshelf. That thing looked insane. There's a nice painting. Ah, yes, the Prince of Pickleburp. Good painting. You can look at it from there. They say he died in 14 different fires. Do we really need a burglar alarm? Let's get him. Nah. Just save the money. That's a myth. Who cares? He needs a sink so he can get clean. Dude, you come down this ladder wrong, you're fucking dead. You're hitting all this porcelain. You're shattering all over you. Is he gonna... I think you can walk past this stuff. Probably. And he really doesn't need, Wait, there's laundry in this game now? Maybe for some people. Tim's not really into the whole laundry thing. Does he really need to shower? Because I feel like he can just wash his hands a bunch and just do a bird bath in the sink like a dirty little whore. Because, I mean, he wants to be efficient. He told me this. He wants this. He likes this. I'm gonna get him a country fried counter right here. Actually, this is... we got priorities fucked up. We're gonna put that right there. I know what you're thinking. You can't do anything with just one of those things. And you need... Here's what you need to understand. You need to understand he needs so much coffee. He's going to need a lot of coffee, all right? Now, what is this drink synthesizer unit? Fun advanced technology. Hot beverage maker. Elitissimo at-home barista. Yeah, he deserves premium coffee for what he's about to experience. Y'all don't even know. It's gonna be bad. Next. Casually moves that out of the way. Yo, is that a mini fridge, bro? Hey, mini fridge, dude! That's great. Mini fridge. That's actually fucking dope. I really like that. We'll get him some more counters. And he can wash dishes in this sink. Actually, he'll wash his hands after shitting at the dish sink. He really doesn't need an oven if he has a microwave, right? The steak and prank microwave. That sounds good. and he can have his meals here at the desk. Right? And it will be good for him. A boy's gotta have his exercise, so we're gonna have a hacky sack. Somewhere. Sit over here. Have a hacky sack over there for him. A portable Gnub set? What the fuck is it? I don't even want to know what that is. It's freaky. Not yet. A dragon egg? No. None of that. I don't know what that is. None of that. We could get him a cake. He could eat the cake. Wait, cakes do things to you in The Sims. Never mind. King in the basement living chair by that dumpster out back. Oh, fuck yes. Can you use this as a desk chair? Probably not. The entertainment. Hold on. The entertainment. Oh, he's gonna go nuts. Oh, man. I'm trying to think what else to put in here. I really need to pee. Is there an open, wow, it's loud outside. Is there an open trash can? Well, yeah, we'll put it down there. That's convenient. Under the sink. I don't know, without a stove, there's no, like... There's no, hot food. Like, really hot food. Wink, wink. There's no chance of really hot food happening. Wink, wink. Mm-hmm. Oh, he needs a radio. Right. You're making me. I'm the hot food. Damn right. That's too cool of him to have a wall-mounted speaker. I don't have that. Like IRL. And I want that. But I can't have that right now. Dude, the old radio. Hey, this thing work, Pops? That's too fun. Efficiency. You get a rock with a speaker in it. It's my dumb rock that plays music. Or just like, I don't know, one loudspeaker. I can't tell what's funnier. yeah, you just have one speaker. or it could, no, damn it. It can't come out of there. Just one speaker. A little rug underneath the ladder. Natural synthetic hide floor enhancer? That's so fucked. No plants. Plants are inefficient, you see. Chad, I feel like I'm gonna piss my pants if I don't go pee. So soon. But first I need to put tissues right here on his desk. For if he gets a runny nose. Is there a new lotion? Come on. We all know I want to make the joke. Okay, I gotta pee. I'll be right back. Where's the BRB? There it is. I'll be right back, chat. I need to pee. Swamp ass in your face. What's up? Whoops. Okay. I think we're about wrapped up. With this house, I mean. I'm not done. It's like soap. Hold on. My mom be putting regular shit in other shit. Swamp ass. Just seeing if you're listening. You in particular. Freak. Sweaty, neat ass. World record attempt. Attempt. Sweat meat ass. Yes. Sure has taken a minute to create a style for this soap pump. Oh yeah? Could be worse, I suppose. Oh, they don't even let me customize the color of the liquid. Yeah, we'll just have to put me down. I'm the reason you lost. I distracted everyone with my feminine wiles. But I did flirt with the mascot. Of course you did. That's awesome. Did they reciprocate? That wasn't a mascot, that was a fursuiter. What's the difference? Yes. Oh my gosh, you got a kiss on the cheek. Oh my gosh! Hey, I'm so proud of you. Alright. It's time. Enough stalling. I'm gonna save the game one more time. Pretty sure that guy's a furry? OMG. I booped his snoot. But now I really... Now I do want to go. Alright. Tim time. Alert. Tim time. Alert. It's Tim time. Welcome to the property. This is Tim Scooper. A not yet world-renowned author. I forgot to customize his shoes. Some of his stuff got reset. Who cares? Alright. Tim, it's Sunday. It's 8 a.m. You're in a new neighborhood. Do not, under any circumstances... Did I save? It's very rare for him to come to you since the stadium is big. He knew you were a furry too. He saw you and he was like, "That's gay." That thing is gay. And I like it. Oh, definitely. Red Panda Boy. Yeah. Love it. Well, that's awesome. Sounds like you had a good time. Check out your smartphone. Your phone has been upgraded and can now send texts, use social networking skill apps, swap phone skins, and even has an improved camera. Be sure to use the phone to check out the new social groups. Mind telling me what they are? Okay, obviously it's nerds, it's punks, and it's preppies? Nerds, jocks? Preppies? Okay. I'm going to try to adjust the UI. I forgot that I was going to do that. I was going to try to do that. So I'm going to try to do that. What do I put on the screen for that? This, apparently. I'll just Vine sauce it. I'll just put an image on screen. And be like, yeah. This is the image that you look at while I get something ready. The longer you look at this image, the more is wrong with it. His ear. It's pretty bad. All right, I do remember. I remember where I put the mod that lets me customize the size of the GUI, the HUD, whatever you want to call it. Just got to click on a few things and click on that. Yeah, the mouse industry, you know, mice are going to be changing a lot of things with computers to be able to click on stuff. It's going to be crazy. Okay, hopefully this does not destroy fucking computer. Which has been happening, but also, like, I think I have it stable, maybe? Alright. It gives me a little web UI. It's really cool. UI scale. Let's try 2.1. No, 2.2. Make my cursor a little larger too. They warned me against doing this. They said this would fuck with something. Okay, whatever. Yeah, looks good. All right. Generate package. Return to the PowerShell script. Okay. It's a really cool piece of software, honestly. This tiny UI fix for The Sims 3 is the name of it. Does exactly what it says on the tin. I also found a mod set that brings back The Sims like 1 and 2 music. I think. I'm wanting to set that up, but I'll probably save that for later. Okay, this one's done. Go ahead and download whatever new music you want in your game. Okay. So, The Sims 2 music. Where's just the normal The Sims 2 music? I assume that's going to be the one with like a bunch of downloads. Sims 2 music base game. Alright. Man, this person worked really hard on this, actually. Add it to the other game files like an expansion pack, or just install it as a replacement. Okay. Alright, that's going to take a bit to download, I guess, so... Sims 3. Sims 3 it is. Hopefully it do not explode computer. If it does, hang around for 5 to 10 minutes and I'll be back. Probably. And if not, I'll let you know in the Twitch chat. But it'll probably be fine. Oh lord, what's that behind him? Maxis. com. Cubed. Sims Cubed. The Sims Cubed. Wow, the game sure is big now. That something worked.
Hey Chew, this is your computer. Please stop putting viruses in me.
No viruses.
There's so many Trojans in me. It hurts so bad, Chew.
Oh, I like how it's a. There's no viruses. Everything I have is legit. It's totally legit. That's why I have every expansion pack. Hashtag don't play EA. Hashtag don't buy EA. I bought everything. I did. I can afford to do that, and I did. Oh, the UI's really big now. Chat. So, it's a little too big. We're gonna have to do a little, modification again. Trying to find your installation. Trying to find. It's so humid in my room. Oh my god. My computer's gonna rust. Right now, right before my eyes. Oy. Yeah, that seems fine. Probably. I don't remember what I had it before. Let's have those. Try those, I guess. It's doing stuff. It says it may take dozens of seconds. My balls are sweaty. Alright. Tim Scooper got me feeling super. Super duper. Tim times to try. Sweet.
Anal vor, going up inside the anal canal and having an experience, meditating.
BB sword.
I fell asleep in your mom's ass. My children and my children's children are filth.
Super?
Zuper, drop that real fucking bass.
I meant to type Zoomer. Fuck.
Drop that out fucking best.
Drop the fucking bass. That statement is true. I can vouch. I am his child. I am very filthy. Some graffiti artists drew. Wash me on my forehead. Am so very dirty. Quiet, child, remain silent, become unwasheder.
It's really zoomed in now. Oh, it's like really zoomed in. Third time's the charm? He's like, what the fuck? That's how I feel too. Okay. But hey, I remember the number now. I remember the number. Chat, I'm practically naked. I've become like Germa. I stream naked now. But unlike Germa, I don't have like a neuroses about it. I just point my webcam up. Just angle it up. Can't even see me. Even if it did turn on. Okay, generate package. Return to the PowerShell script. Pulsate my Guadal. Pulsating Guadals. Loading Frick Wash. Alright. That music thing is still downloading. I would like the Sims 2 music in this. It'd be neat. I'm receiving word that our enemies have ripped their pants. Let us relish in this victory.
Baby sword.
This is what my town was before the big poop bomb fell that covered everything in turds. Everyone died except for me because I can run really fast. This is the story of my balls.
Enlightening, beautiful. Excited to see it. It's 10:30 and I'm just now getting into actual live mode. But that's cool. Sam took 3. And for me, I took 2.5. Are we ready for prime efficiency neat % plus world record attempt number 2492 everybody, please remember also pray for little Timmy. He got Which out of here. All right, everybody. 8% plus world record attempt number 2,492. Are you ready? And everyone, as we all remember, everybody pray for little Timmy. He got hit by cars. No relation to Tim Scooper. All right, folks, welcome back to the Ultra Efficient Sim. All right, folks, welcome back to the Ultra Efficient Sim Strategy Showcase. Neat percent plus world record attempt number 2,492. And everybody, as always, please remember to pray for pray for little Timmy. Hashtag he got hit by cars. Once again, no relation to Tim Scooper. Got a big donut truck with Timmy's face out there. We're raising money to get his kneecaps put back on. All right. I don't know what the fuck that bit was. The perpetrator. All right, that's him. It's time to go to work. Did it immediately start raining? What's that? Oh, the neighbors are doing rapture practice. That's cool. Your comprehensive knowledge of The Sims 3 displayed during the last load has earned your family 25 lifetime happiness points, which have been evenly distributed among all family members. Attention property owner. Ownership has been upgraded to the digital age. All deeds held by Sims have been reclaimed by the city, and Sims can now manage their properties via the phone or computer with new enhanced options. That's good. So here's his house. Hopefully it doesn't rain because, I mean, that's why he has the rug right there. As if it rains. And it looks like he wants to learn some writing skills. So it's what if he joins a book club? You know, the best writers are readers. You know, let's join a book club. Take a class in the writing skill. Oh, sure. He can go to school now for this? Would you like to learn more about sending gifts to online friends? Would Tim like to join the book club? Joining the book club means the mailman will deliver you a random book every week with a lifetime membership fee of just 250 simoleons. It's a great steal. Sign up today. Sure. And later. They'll come on Wednesday. All right. And then he turns his computer off because he's done now. I'm kidding. Writing. I don't know. I'm kind of interested in seeing the business. Where is the business office? They said he can take a class at the business office. There's City Hall. Corporate Towers? Land grab, sell and swap, McMaster karaoke. I don't remember these things being here. Porta Party mini warehouse. Porta Party equestrian center. Barney's salon and tattoo. Varg's Tavern? Wait, Vi's Tavern, rather? That's a Swedish word. Vi's Tavern? That means wolf. Yeah, and yes, Vice Skeletor means Wolf Skeletor. Very cool. The Weatherstone. I don't give a fuck about the Weatherstone. Where's the business center? I guess it's got to be this thing. Attend writing class, yeah. And a social networking class. I believe that. There's no paint on this side. What can you do? All right, Timmy. First day on the thing. And you're not even addicted to caffeine yet. So we're just gonna go there without you cramming down a bunch of stuff. How do I get to follow him? Right click? There we go. Now we're traveling in style. All right, we're taking our writing class. Hi, your friendly Sims University mascot is here to spread some school spirit. I also bring the University Welcome Kit, which has useful university information and fun freebies. Okay, I'm not home right now, so. He's just taking a class right now, you know? He's learning. We've all taken classes before, right? Has everyone in chat grown up in a country with compulsory education? Which I think is a good thing, by the way. Apparently that's a controversial opinion these days in some circles. You gotta go to school. Gotta learn them numbers and all them words and stuff. How to water a plant and have it not cry every night until it dies. How to hide the bodies. Practical stuff. A mysterious portal has appeared in the world. What effects may this have on the world? It's a bit repetitive. Hey, look, university guy, you're cool. But I'm not home right now. Can words move another sim to cry, to laugh, to fall in love? Tim Scooper has begun on the literary path, one that is not always the less traveled, but perhaps one in need of excellence. Will the next bestseller be penned by Tim Scooper? Tim Scooper just grasped the basics of writing. He'll always remember that moment where it all started to come together. Share this memory. No. What are you talking about? Dude, a portal just appeared on your property. Travel to the future. No. He's not going to the future. What are you talking about? He's busy. He's got stuff to do in the present. Wait, he wants to... He's freaking out? Wait, why are you freaking out, Tim? I didn't mean to cancel it. He's freaking out a little bit, man. Stream video. What are you doing? Are you streaming? Or are you watching something? Okay, he's watching something. I thought he was like, oh, I'm gonna be a fucking streamer. What skill is he leveling up? What is this doing? What is this? What is he watching? Tell me. Okay, you need to go home. There's a man in a llama suit and a portal in the front yard. And regardless, you have a novel to work on. Tim? Tim. All right. Acquire an elixir. What are you talking about? the fuck kind of elixir do you want? I didn't mean to save a video. I'm not actually mad at Tim. I just like to pretend to be. He's gonna crash a car with his friend inside and make him record it. I mean, I think he just got into an accident with this. Whatever's going on here is not legal. I'll just say that much. Whatever just happened with those taxis, it's not. My fucking face when a portal appears in my damn front yard? Damn. That can't be good for the property value. Can I sell it? Oh my god, I can. Free money, dude. Fuck going to the future, dude. We got a book to write. Alright, Tim. It's time for your unstable ass to have caramel cappuccino with strawberry whipped cream.
Oh, the poodle, son. Oh.
You good, dude? Whoops. God, this fucking place is atrocious. Yeah, go face the entertainment. Yeah, it's good for you, Tim. If I'm not mistaken, there is a way to do first-person mode, right? Wait, what was I looking for? What was I doing again? What was I doing again? I was looking for key bindings. I don't think they let you change those. Okay, camera. It's video capture. Screenshot camera. View my sim. Certainly can. I might be thinking of a different game. Check stove. What's your needs are fine. Here. It's time for you to begin your fiction. Just now looking back on this and oh my god. Wait, what's wrong? This is a perfectly normal place to be writing. The Secret Life of a Degenerate Path. Thus begins my torment. I think that's a nice name for a book. It has so much. Was that auto-generated? You wrote that. I didn't write that. I wouldn't put degenerate path. That's too, like, random. That is, like, too random. Write a book worth it. Yeah. You want to do cool writing stuff because you're a writer. And he's all perked up on caffeine. He's perked up. He's enjoying solitude. He's enjoying being alone. He's going fast. The floor, it has so much. What, creative energy? What do you mean turn off speaker? Wait, it's just a speaker. It's not a stereo. Oh. Okay. One sec. Satellite speaker. Fucking phonograph? Yeah, right in front of the entertainment. He's enjoying that wave pattern on the wall. It reminds him of drowning. Barf it back up.
I love drowning, ...
Same.
I love thinking of drowning, ... Yummy drowning.
He loves the shit. How did you play that music? You go into your documents and you go to custom music. And you can add custom music. And his eyelids. What eyelids? Who said that shit? Get it to him. Keeps dancing. Silence. My favorite thing about Sims custom music is the long periods of silence in between if you don't do it right, which of course I didn't. I keep trying to... Whoa. This literally made my day. Oh yeah, I'm glad. He's got that Bill Clinton stare. He's undergoing a caffeine crash while he's dancing. Relatable. I'm so glad he doesn't even get to see the sunlight. She's literally a highlight of my day. I'm so glad. Hey, it's the highlight of his day too, because his day just started. It's 5 p.m. He doesn't even know. Alright, that's enough. That's enough pleasure. Take your last few sips, boyo. You got a novel to write. I think, the disgusting. He's just having a nice sip. Write a science fiction novel. Clean something. Why does he want to clean? You have writing to do. Don't fall into the same traps I do, friend. You can always clean more. You can't always write what you can write. Because you're unique. No one else is like you. No one has sharp ears like you. Me with music. Points gun at Tim Scooper. You will write now. I thought he had, the phase of the moon has the power to bring out the inner lunatic. Would you like to know more? Yes. If you're seeing some spooky stuff happening in your town, that might be because it's a full moon. Werewolves, zombies, and ghosts are all the more prevalent during the full moon, and the full moon has a number of other unusual effects on the town and various other supernatural sims. Don't pay any attention to all that news, alright? Alright, Tim. You didn't start the fire. What kinds of stories can a man who was born and raised in a basement come up with? We call that outsider art. And it's what amateurs try to emulate. Alright? And he lives it. Alright? Who else do you know who is like this at all? Other than streamers. Like us. Join the writer career. What do you mean writer career? No, he's a freelance art. He's an entrepreneur. Right? He puts that well-protected noggin to use every day. Alright? And he never changes his wallpaper, because he changes it in real life, alright? I'm Tim Scooper. God, no, you're not Tim Scooper. You sleep. And stuff. You have pets. And a bunch of other things I'm not going to mention, because it's not quite doxing you, but it's a little bit too personal to be like, just like listing, you know? It's in that middle ground. You have an indeterminate amount of items. You have unknown amounts of maybe property or not. Have quick meal. Ramen. Okay, now we're getting a little close to home. All right. What's this? What do you mean ramen? Oh, I'm sorry. I guess what I accidentally came out of my mouth is a 5-star Michelin meal. That wasn't long enough. Real ramen with egg. Yeah, but is that what anyone wants in The Sims for their sim when they're clicking on the shitty microwave to have a quick meal? Egg in the microwave, Tim? No, we don't cook egg in the microwave. That's like the worst thing ever. Yes, it works. But why would you want to do that? I feel like that's like... I don't know. This is a pretty disgusting way to prepare eggs to me. And I know it because I've had it a lot. Whoa. What the? I don't know how I did.
Have no way, huh?
Huh? Because of the trash bin, Tim?
Waba!
What do you do? What's your solution? Oh. Oh, that's wasteful. Okay.
Blinch those, and go!
Okay. Get university freebies. Throws out entire bowl. Yeah.
Ha! Dubsy!
No, don't
Woo!
don't have like a bunch of school pride at school that you don't go to. Or even one that you do go to. Oh. The super suit. He looks so fucking miserable here. Oh, he's having a caffeine crash. That's why he looks so sad. Take the aptitude test in the dark while you're having a caffeine crash. Maybe there's a mod to turn that off. The flashing, I mean. God, wish we could just outright murder him. Hey. Oh. Oh, well. No, he won't actually get accepted. He is an idiot. Well, no, it's by some
Ow.
standards. Oh, he's feeling tranquil because he freaked out. Hate how relatable that is. Caffeine time. Let's try soy chai with extra foam. And then a strawberry light cappuccino. And then a triple caramel light latte. His pussy is so zen in that suit. Yeah. Oh, he's got to use the toilet bad. I mean, chamber pot. He doesn't have a toilet. He's like, man, I really got to fucking shit. What the? Whoops. All right, everybody look away. It's going to be bad. This is so sublimely nightmarish. Yeah. Chamber pot. My face when it's all coming out. Oh, that was fast. It came out fast.
Huh? Kapow!
How do you... How's he trying to flush a chamber pot? Dude, he had trouble. That was a triple flusher. Also, it's a chamber pot. Daddy makes me drink his shit. And takes pictures. He looked at me. I had to run away. How does his nose let him taste things? He has apnea. Notice how the word sleep wasn't included. No, you don't need to sleep, actually. Because you're going to refine your writing skill. Oh, it's suggesting maybe we get a roommate. Buy a wall-mounted speaker. He wants it back. He remembers. Buy a fridge. You have a mini fridge. It's right there. You can have a cold one. A one is not a one if scarcely if cold at all. A horrifying prospect because someone would willingly move in there with him. In this economy? Yeah. Tim has just improved his writing skill to 3. Good job. Okay, that's enough refinement. Oh man, that thing's looking fucking dirty. Let's have another cappuccino espresso triple with a caramel cappuccino with strawberry whipped cream. Frothuccino? That's what I call my boy boy pussy. Thanks. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. He hasn't gotten his book club but yet. Let's continue writing Thus Begins My Torment. Notice how his energy bar is at fucking zilch, but the caffeine makes him good. With extra dog froth. Yeah. Lube gets real frothy, let me tell y'all. It has the power to froth. And I too have the power to froth. He's getting a little money. He's about to have another caffeine crash, though. So he should have another cappuccino. Soy half frotha. Frothing and writing fiction at 3 a.m. I was doing that the other night. Actually, it was in the morning. I was thinking about it that night. Still got to work on that some more. There's aspects of Tim Scooper in all of us, I think. That's not Tim Scooper. That's Tim Scooper. Yeah. Oh, hello? Okay. My aspect of him is that I poop with a huge sensor bar. Doesn't everyone? Why are you trying to go to bed, Tim? It's fine. You drink caffeine, that's the same. There's no difference. Okay, man, chill. Alright, clean the rest later. We got writing to do. Just leave the suds in there to soak. Look at this little arachnodactylic fingers there to just press those little keys and nothing more. Does he hit his enter key on the numpad? Freak. I just noticed the lotion and tissues. He needs some fun. He does need a little fun. Damn. Those are denim. It's working.
Doji.
He gets out of the chair to look at it. He's having fun. This is what you meant, right? He's pressing page down and home key in order to type. There's a little bit of Tim Scooper in all this. He's not actually having fun. Now he's lying to himself. It just became lying to himself. Play Kicky Bag. Play Kicky Bag, Tim.
Yep.
He got jock points for that. Did you see that? He's getting jock hypnoed. Wait, hold on.
Oh.
High kicks, high kicks. This is how we do it. Watch out for my body rolls. Watch out for my body rolls. I was walking through the forest of buckers and breath when I saw a troll boy wearing tight pants. I got a scary ad right when you asked that. Thank you.
Oh.
Oh, dude, he's having a goddamn blast. This is one of the best nights of his life.
Yep. Oh.
This is one of the best nights of his entire life. Oh, scratch that. He just received a first-degree burn from an espresso machine, a pain that I'm very familiar with. It hurts. That's 212 degrees. Hot steam. Oh, he's exhausted now. You better slurp it. Boy. That's your new sleep. It's liquid. It's good for you. Your body doesn't have to regenerate anything. You just need to keep burning the candle at both ends. Grind set. Ultimate efficient. Sim. He loves it here. He loves it here and he loves to write, and that's why he's going to sit back down and do it. Shut up. You better not be thinking about packing a suitcase or whatever that was. God, I know. I know what you think about. He's making good progress. Tim. Oh, wow. The summer festival's arrived in town. Join your friends for long days packed with excitement under the warm sun. Come hungry for hot dogs and snow cones. Then get ready to burn calories in the skating rink or play a game of soccer. Maybe you'll just grab a spray tan and relax as fireworks fill the sky. Whatever you choose, it's sure to be a great time. 87 pages of heart-pounding adrenaline. Thus begins my torment.
The summer festival has arrived in town. Join your friends for long days packed with excitement.
Yeah. Have just exited Tim's hard drive. Sometimes Plankton appears in my mind. And are on their way to the publisher. Tim is hoping that the book is better than Wax Until There's No More, the current darling of the literary world. You're good. Try to type it out with you as you read it. I like trying to do that. It's fun. He wants to write a science fiction novel. $1948. Yeah, dude, it's 1984. Fix that for you. Science fiction. Oh. Okay, Boodle. Show me this guy's balls. Alright, you just need to start the book. He really wants to clean the counter. It's crazy, dude. Hey, you should make beverages. Oh, he's getting hungry too. Check the sink, neurotic. My face when I realize I really do probably have OCD. Maybe the mental health therapist professionals are right. We need a proper fridge in order to make grilled cheese, I think. The small fridge is just not enough. What better and more efficient place to have it than right behind the stove, right? You ever thought about that? Grilled cheeses will go well with all the hot drinks. Yeah. Yeah, all the like chocolate mocha triple foam milk swirl. I guess it needs to like, hold on, be like here. I just know he's got acid reflux. Oh yeah, this boy's got GERD. Damn, Tim, you should invite some bitches over. This place is poppin'. His shoes? What about them? They're denim. He's ready. Life during wartime, right? Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid needs these shoes. Yeah. All the women in town love a foam puzzle piece floor with fish, furries, bugs, and flames. I will wear that shit with my RuneScape modded items. Hey, he didn't burn down the house. His head looks wrong from up here. Wait, did he? Yeah, they look... They look good. Okay. Good job, Tim. He's moaning. Dynamic plate washing action. How am I doing that? I don't know how I'm doing that. Whoa. Oh. Telling all y'all was sabotage. POV, you are an unwashed pot on the stove. Whoa, Ash.
Ordach, Woodland.
Dude, chill. Just calm down. Make a coffee. That'll calm you down. And we're gonna call the repair technician. It's noon, by the way, Tim, if you didn't know. So you can call a repair technician. Oh, you just gotta unclog it, buddy. You just gotta unclog it, buddy. Don't worry, your bedroll's pretty far away. Damn, but damn, bro. Really? Really, man? You're still doing it's still. You're not even, that's not even doing anything. You're just splashing the water around. That's not even doing that's not doing anything. You're just splashing poop water everywhere. You need to put it in the hole. You need to put it really... Don't wipe your fucking... Oh, God, that's so gross. Please wash your hands. He did have a fucking... important event in his life unlocked. Unclogging the fucking toilet. Share this memory. Did he have a formative memory of this? I'm laughing. Good. How do I look at his inventory? Scrapbook. Oh my fucking God. It puts it in an actual scrapbook. Unclogged the chamber pot. Fucking splashed shit water everywhere like a buffoon. He penned a novel. He unclogged a toilet. That's all he's got so far. He wants to buy a washing machine. Why? Who are you trying to impress? Quit trying to keep up with the Joneses and get back to your novel. Okay, Boodle, show me this guy's balls. He's grungy. He's musky. Sticky boy. I hate it. This is a boy smell I wouldn't want to get near. Okay, Boodle, show me this guy's ball. Uh-oh. Drink caramel cappuccino with strawberry whipped cream. I don't know, chat with someone. Homestuck. This entire room has the aroma. Yeah. I would like to reiterate, not a good one. I think I'm starting to see a layer of stink emanating from the scooper. Oh! And that's why we wear the helmet, folks. You know? Dude, that scared the shit out of me, man. That scared me. That scared me. That scared me really bad. I was not expecting that. I don't know, that was just like really fast. I don't know, it looked really unnatural. His stink has reached permanent status, by the way. Well, I mean, what is he gonna go like air bathe like one of the founding fathers in the Virginia wind in the morning? We have so much in common. I'd love to get to know you better. Yeah, I'm working on a book about a computer shows you balls. I haven't showered in weeks. I don't sleep no more. I'm an author. I'm gonna be famous. I gotta go. Opens up. What text editor do you think he uses? Probably WordStar. Notepad. Probably uses WordStar. He opens up a DOS emulator and opens up WordStar. He doesn't know how to install new things. Understood. That makes sense. Yeah, he's using Red Star OS. North Korea Linux. Thank you for clipping that. That shit scared the fuck out of me. Bro, I was legit startled. Dude. Straight up, I got startled tonight. Motionless light pepperoni pizza roll. Pretty epic URL you got there. Alright, he's got 5 minutes to make coffee. He's not gonna make it. Wow, writing skill level 4, caffeine crash. Hasn't slept in a week. Actually, it's been not even a day. There you go. Wafting, Jesus fucking Christ.
When I throw it back, fast enough. If I speed it up, think you handle that. You ain't ready for this work now. Watch me throw it back, throw it back, throw it back, throw it back, from the back, throw it back. My ass too fat, too fat, too fat, too fat. My ass too fat.
Like a she
All right. Why are you trying to go to bed, man? Hey, what if you idea continue writing? I wasn't ready for the PJs. The trail? Oh, the stink? Like the 3D trail of stonk? Yeah, it's like a furry porn, man. It's crazy. I'm gonna be real with you. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near Tim Scooper. I do not want to know what Tim Scooper smells like. Oh, God. Socks. I forgot about the socks. He's unlocked skunk form. Don't say that. That's disrespectful to skunks. He submitted a few chapters of "Okay, Boodle, show me this guy's balls" to the publisher, and it received 15 simoleons. Very serious. Ultimate efficiency. Yeah, his sleeping glasses. It's only his bedtime outfit. He's gonna think he can sleep if he keeps wearing this, so we should change to his everyday. Change his outfit for fun. Does he get a little fun from that? Yes. It's fun to change into a new outfit a little. Or it might be from something else. I don't know. Okay, he's really stinky, so he should go wash his hands. His everyday clothes have never been washed, ever. Corrective sleeping lenses. This'll make sure you don't smell like a corpse. I just assume he goes into like bad smell like instantly, because he's just so stressed. If he took them pants off, they'd stay standing. Jesus Christ. Check the sink. Oh, I do shit like this. Oh, this trait, they couldn't say obsessive compulsive disorder.
Taken.
This is obsessive compulsive disorder. He's getting a lot necrosis scent. Yeah.
Damn yes.
He goes from smelling like denim, like processed denim, to smelling like if somebody had an accident in a Smash convention. So exhausted after brushing my teeth and checking my appliances for evil. Smelling like a rafflesia? I don't know what that is. The corpse flower. Oh. You think they'd call it the corpse flower if it was the corpse flower. The one on Vileplume's head. I don't know what that means. I don't know who that is. Is that Pokemon? Pokemon. You have forgot one critical fact about me. I'm a furry who knows nothing about Pokemon. Never mind, non-gamer detected. Yeah, I'm a dollhouse gamer. That's why we're making E4 next. Alright, he's gotta go shit. Get up. The police are on their way. Bro, it's 2025. The police probably are already on their way for some other fucking thing that I can't help. Like, knowing how to make Tim Scooper. That's forbidden knowledge. Negative social credit. Fuck. Dang it.
Huh?
No, not again. I like how he wipes his face after he gets done pooping. It's smart. It's a good thing. Actually, no, don't have cereal. You need to get your cooking skills up. Have some waffles. It's 1 in the morning. Have some waffles. Speaking of late hours, I can't believe it's almost 11:30 at night here in real life land. I am gonna have to wrap it up soon, unfortunately. But, you know, we'll be returning.
The flowers look and smell like rotting flesh. The foul odor attracts insects such as carrion flies, which transport pollen from male to female flowers.
Then Tim Scooper puts it in a big stinky bowl and cooks it up into a big froth on the stove. He flicked the eggshell away. I also do that. The entire... Wow, he looks pathetic. Very sad. There's nothing wrong with looking pathetic, by the way. I've looked pathetic many times. And that's where we'll leave it off for tonight. We're going to leave it on a cliffhanger. Thank you all for joining me. I'm so glad that Tim Scooper's going to fucking die in a basement fire. I'm just kidding. He's going to be fine. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Everything will be fine. He backed up those files, right? The painting, the entertainment isn't priceless, right? One of a kind, right? He's not just hallucinating this because he hasn't slept in like 3 days, right? He's mocha brained. Ultimate cliffhanger. A fire has started on your home lot. Dude, that's gonna be the next go live notification. That'll be it. Hell yeah. Thank you for clipping that. I appreciate that. That helps out. Uh-oh. No, but last time I tried to stream this, frown me. The last time I tried to stream this game yesterday, it did not go so well. It made all my screens turn black and kill computer.exe to sum it up. But I did some digging, learned about compatibility issues with it with Windows 11. And it looks like I was able to play it all the way through without major issues like that. So that's cool. And yes, I do know about the Control-Shift Windows B. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna start yawning. Oh, and I don't yawn on stream. I don't like to. So I'm gonna go now. I will catch y'all in the next stream, maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. I'm trying to space it out more so I have more time to work on other things I need to. But also, I don't know, when I work on stuff at other parts of the day, and when it's nighttime, it's like, okay, well, it's my time. I like to play video games, and might as well stream it because that's fun. But yeah, we'll see if he makes it. Good night, chat.